Things just don't get better for Vince McMahon, do they? Because check this out. I don't know if you can read that very well. But this is a statement that was reproduced verbatim by Vice News, Vice TV, with the exception of one redaction. But there it is right there. Again, I don't know if you could read that very well, filming this with the GoPro. But this is from the late Ashley Massaro. Ashley Massaro, who was a Diva Search winner, and I think even a former Divas champion. I'm not really sure. This is what she said. And, when it comes to Vince McMahon and the way he is. This is what she said, and I quote, "During my time with the WWE, I had observed Vince McMahon making out with other divas in the locker room, but he never paid attention to me, and I assumed I was not his type. This changed after my Playboy cover was released. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to fly on the company jet and stay at the same hotels as the executives for a period of time so that I could get home faster to spend more time with my daughter. On one of these occasions, Vince was attempting to get me alone with him in his hotel room late at night, and I felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone nonstop. I called Kevin Dunn to explain the situation, and he said I should tell Vince I was not feeling well and would see him on TV the next day. So I did." Okay, let me see. All right. Immediately after that night, Vince started writing my promos for me. Vince does not write promos for female wrestlers. That is the job of the creative department, and he certainly wouldn't have, under any normal circumstances, written a promo for me. But he did, and the promos were written with the clear intention of ruining my career. I brought the first script Vince wrote for me to the WWE employee in charge of creative at the time, Michael Hayes. And he said, quote, and this is Michael Hayes, "You're not saying this. Who the blank," we could assume, who the fuck, wrote this? And I told him that Vince did. He said, Michael Hayes, quote, well, kid, these are the breaks." Meaning that Vince wanted to end my career and destroy my reputation on my way out. He is known for this type of behavior and also did this too upon her, somebody else, which they retract. We can only assume who that might be. But she said he is known for this type of behavior and also did this to so-and-so upon her departure from WWE. In addition, after that night, each time I walked by him, he would make vulgar comments that were clearly designed to make me uncomfortable. So, yeah. Basically, this is coming from Ashley Massaro herself before she passed. Before she, did what she did. And, and that kind of starts with an S. And I don't want to say that word because of YouTube. But basically, she, basically Vince, Vince got, well, I wouldn't assume, I would say he did. Vince basically was not happy with her, I guess you could say, what's the word that goes along with this? Not accepting his advances, or not, being receptive. That's the word. Not being receptive of his advances towards her. And the fact that he kept calling her hotel room and her cell phone nonstop, that just shows you that something was not right with him. And apparently, when she when she posed for Playboy, I guess his interest in her changed. Like, before then, it's like, Ashley's not worth my time. All of a sudden, Playboy happens, it's like, okay, Ashley, you're my type. And it's got to make you wonder. It's got to make you wonder who else he did this to. Like, who's this other girl that Ashley was mentioning? Like, who was that? There was a bunch of beautiful women on the roster at that time. Some that did do Playboy. So you got to wonder who else it could have been. Who else was it? Was it Victoria? Was it Tori Wilson? Who? Who was it? Was it Mickey James? Who was it? We don't know. But the fact that he did this, not just to Ashley, and then in response said, okay, you don't want to receive and be receptive of my advances to you or towards you. You don't want to spend some good time with me. What's he do? He decides, okay, creative team, I'm going to take care of Ashley's promos. I'll write them for her. And for the fact that he wrote them, and basically Michael Hayes looks at this and he's like, why would anybody want you to say this? This is disgusting. But then hearing Vince say it, I mean, Michael's a company guy, and he's probably thinking, well, unfortunately, those are the breaks. Now, he probably talked more in depth with Ashley when he said that. He probably said, well, those are the breaks, kid. I mean, if Vince don't get what he wants, he's not going to make your life, any easier. He's going to make it hell. And apparently that's what he did. Again, she didn't put that in detail or anything, but still, it's like, obviously if Vince don't get what he wants, you could kiss your career pretty much goodbye, if you will. You can pretty much kiss it, goodbye. But again, it just shows you that this situation with Vince is not good. I mean, the fact that, again, and I'm going to, again, let me reread this. It says, and this is from Ashley. She says, during her time with WWE, she was observed. Okay, let me reread this again. She says, basically, during her time with WWE, she had observed Vince making out with other divas in the locker room, but never paid attention to her. And she assumed that because she wasn't his type, but I guess that all changed when she, posed for Playboy. In her Playboy magazine, her cover was released. She basically states that she was allowed, I think because of that, I'm not thinking, but she pretty much is stating in her own way that, because of that, she was fortunate enough to be allowed to fly on the company jet and stay at the same hotels as the executives for a period of time so she could get home faster to spend more time with her daughter. But that on one of those occasions, Vince was attempting to get her alone with him in his hotel room late at night, and she felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. And the fact that, the fact that this guy would not take no for an answer, and he just kept, bombarding her phone, her hotel phone and cell phone nonstop. It's like it just shows you what of a sicko this guy is. And then the fact that Kevin Dunn, I assume did the right thing in trying to tell her, hey, just tell Vince you're not feeling well, and you would see him on TV the next day. But I guess Vince didn't want to believe that, or didn't accept that excuse. And what does he do? He decides, oh, well, she don't want to accept my advances, and I allowed her to be on Playboy? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to ruin her career. It almost sounds like those that worked in creative, worked in production, knew what Vince was like, and were disgusted by it, but realized there was nothing even they could do. And the fact that he even did this to another talent, another diva talent, on their way out, and we don't know who that is. Again, it could have been anybody. It's just like, what is this man thinking? And if he thought, honestly, he was going to be free, after what's going on now, will be settled. Vince, I hope you like jail food, because that's what you're going to be getting real soon for the rest of your life. This is just sick, man. It's just sick. And and no wonder she had mental problems. No wonder she had mental problems that, gone too soon, too young too soon. It's like this what Vince did does not help. And I guarantee you, when this gets brought up in court, and it will, and they find out that she did what she did to herself, that caused her to pass, goodbye, Vince. Goodbye, Vince. And you have Laurinaitis saying the things he is, whether he's innocent or not, which he isn't, let's be honest. He's just trying to get out of this as best he can. It's like, Vince, again, I hope you enjoy prison food, because that's what you're going to be getting. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this, and I will talk to y'all later. This is just, oh God. Vince, you done screwed up, effed up, big time, and this time there's no coming back. So again, I hope you enjoy prison food, because that's what you're going to be eating for the rest of your life. And I don't think anybody's going to give a damn. give a damn about you or feel sorry about you for the state you got yourself into.